Monday made the long-awaited announcement of Lieutenant General Manoj Pande being appointed as the next Chief of Army Staff to replace outgoing General M.M. Narvane. Lieutenant General Pande, the current Vice Chief of Army Staff, will assume the topmost army role on 1st May after General Narvane retires on 30th April. His elevation to the top army post has corrected a significant historical anomaly in the army as well as put the enemy on the guard. Known for his tough yet fair headmaster-esque qualities, Lieutenant General Pande is being dubbed as the headache of enemies in Pakistan and China. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host APOORVA and I'm here to tell you about the new Chief of Army Staff of India. So let's begin. Lieutenant General Pande is an alumnus of the National Defence Academy Khadagwalsa and the Indian Military Academy Dehradun. Lieutenant General Pande was commissioned in the Bombay Sappers in December 1982. Incidentally, he is the first engineer to become the COAS and 29th overall for the country. The Indian Army in the past came incredibly close to having an engineer lead the army, but due to petty political squabbling of Indira Gandhi's government, the appointment could never materialize. Reportedly, in 1973, Lieutenant General Parminder Singh Bhagat from Pande's Associated Royal Bengal Sappers and a recipient of Victoria Cross in the World War II was set to become the COAS. However, the Indira Gandhi government, known for its incessant interference in the working of the Indian Army, bottlenecked General Bhagat's elevation for petty political considerations, depriving a corps of engineers officers from becoming the COAS, despite it being one of the Army's oldest arms dating back to the late 18th century. Thus, once again, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who chairs the Appointments Committee of the Cabinet, responsible for the appointment of COAS, has corrected a historical wrong and set a precedent that even the engineers in the army can dream of leading the army one day. As for Lieutenant General Pande, for his illustrious service, he has been conferred with the Param Visisht Seva Medal, Ati Visisht Seva Medal, Visisht Seva Medal, the Chief of Army Staff Commendation, and twice with GOC in C Commendation. His elevation to the top army post has already sent shockwaves across India's two neighbors or enemies, China and Pakistan. Reportedly, Lieutenant General Manoj Pande has the experience of battling the two enemies on both fronts. It is pertinent to note that in the aftermath of the December 2001 Parliament attacks, which nearly brought India and Pakistan to the brink of war, it was Lieutenant General Pande who commanded an engineer regiment during Operation PARAKRAM in the Pallanwala sector along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. Operation PARAKRAM was the large-scale mobilization of troops and weapons to the western border of India. However, the war never mobilized despite the army lock and loaded to go all out and decimate Pakistan into the ground. Moreover, Lieutenant General Pande has served as the Fort Gajraj Corps commander in the northeast, which looks after both the line of actual control as well as counter-insurgency operations. As the General Officer Commanding-in-Chief of the Eastern Command from June 2021 to January 2022, before he became the Army Vice Chief, Lieutenant General Pande has the necessary experience in dealing with China in hostile conditions. During Lieutenant General Pande's stay at the Eastern Command, he was responsible for strengthening India's surveillance and patrolling capacities by inducting surveillance drones, unmanned aerial vehicles, better surveillance radars, better communication systems, and better night vision systems. On several occasions, Lieutenant General Pande pointed out that the introduction of technology remained one of the key steps in stifling China advances on the border. Former Chief of Defence Staff Bipin Rawat on numerous occasions had talked about the 2.5 front war India is currently facing. Thus, it helps the army's morale that they now have a leader who has been there and done it all. He has been at the forefront when it comes to taking on the enemies and showing them their place. With such close ground knowledge of the current situation between India and its neighbours, Lieutenant General Pande could potentially be the game changer. The situation with China in the aftermath of the 2020 Ladakh border standoff has been ongoing. The standoff on the border has continued despite dozens of military-level talks. India has been guarding the strategically superior higher peaks which have put the Chinese at disadvantage in the region. However, the situation needs to be sorted quickly and Lieutenant General Pande promises to bring that extra decisiveness to the table. Lastly, the elevation of Lieutenant General Pande to the COAS is being seen as the next step towards the modernization of armed forces and making India capable of fighting wars on multiple fronts simultaneously.